All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear us. I'll do this again.
You should be fine, because we don't have that loud sound again.
All right. I'm working on.
You have your paper? You good?
I do. Yes.
All right, everyone. So what this is going to be is a daily live update. There's a lot of questions, a lot of misinformation going on out, and we as a Naval Park feel that it's very important to be transparent. And as we get updates daily, we want to be able to pass those updates along to you guys. And hopefully this will help answer a lot of your questions and dispel any rumors or anything like that might be coming up on social media. So it's very important for us to be transparent. We really, as we get information, we're relaying that information to you. So if there's something we can't answer, it's truthfully because we don't know the answer. So Shane, I'll let you take it.
Okay. It says our chat doesn't work.
No, that was before, when I was outside.
Can we update it?
No, it's working, I promise you.
Okay. Yeah, so to kind of parrot what Stephen was saying, we're going to be giving like almost like a news broadcast every day. We haven't set the time yet.
Right.
So we don't. Right now, we wanted to get this out into the format that you will be seeing potentially daily. It might be every other day, depending on whether or not we have news to bring you. I'll still be doing videos. But they will be regarding, just like the other videos that we've done. They'll be regarding the ships and things like that, or interesting stories. But every day, we're going to try to bring you, whether it's live or in a taped thing to premiere at 7:15 or 8 p.m. Can't thank you enough for this unbelievable support. We have our regular long-time subscribers. We want to thank them. We got Husky and Hoist and
Bryce
and Bryce and Scott and oh my God, just Jeff and A-Devs, right? So we want to thank you all for being there from the beginning with us, and we've got a lot of new subscribers too. When we were talking about when we reach 3,000 subscribers, we'll have a big party.
We said we'd have a big party.
We just blew by that, so that's great. We have up to 3,500 or 3,600 subscribers. So everyone, we will be hopefully having a party. Don't worry about that. And we also have some great ideas with Scott about having a YouTube-sponsored compartment on board.
Yep.
That you guys and gals will be able to sponsor, and we can do the work, and then get the word out about that. That will be pretty awesome. So, but yes, sorry to kind of loop back. As Stephen was saying, there are meetings going on here between our partners, U.S. Coast Guard, the BIDCO, Marine Group, environmental groups, New York State, Department of Homeland Security, police and fire. And so they have, I don't know the term hot wash, I don't know if that's good or bad, but they have a meeting every day. And then what they're going to do is they're going to summarize the meeting, and then it's up to us to get then that summary of the meeting out to you. So I don't know. Okay, yeah, all right. Something's going on with our chat.
If somebody can try and write in the chat box to see if it's coming through for us.
Yeah, because it says chat's disconnected. We don't want it to be disconnected, because part of this was we were going to answer a question or two, as we can go on. So if someone can try and write a chat, I bet you someone's already tried, but yeah. I don't know. Okay, so, all right, so kind of the summary for today. All right, the weekend, it was Easter yesterday. There was no work going on here. The ship, again, is still stable, so if you watch that video from last night, and I showed up at the bow by the blade, that's the way she currently looks right now. It has been released that there are other products on board besides water, so we can mention that there is hydraulic fluid and oil that they are currently pumping off. And once that is done, then we have that contaminated. Not only is it just filled with oil in certain spots, but then we have the contaminated water issue, right, and that's where the Coast Guard is really stepping in to make sure that we are working with that. And that segues into the Great Lakes Clean Water Initiative from our senator, one of our senators here, Chuck Schumer, was here today giving a press conference talking about the Great Lakes Clean Water Initiative, and that we're going to get some federal funding for that with the Coast Guard, in conjunction with the Coast Guard, working with it to make sure that all of that water is contained.
The chat's working, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, good. Okay. Hey, well, there we go. Hey.
We'll say hi to everyone. Thanks for letting us know the chat is working.
Yeah, thank you. All right, because we want to make sure that if you guys have questions that we can answer them as best as we can. So right now, there's a crew of about 40 to 50 people between those organizations, BIDCO, U.S. Coast Guard, the Environmental Department of Homeland Security, Buffalo Police, Buffalo Fire. And so there's, and anywhere consistently, there's a crew of about 40, 50, 55 people here. One of the differences today that was not here last week is that we brought in an international salvage company called TNT International.
T&T.
T&T?
T-A-N-D-T, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
T, not TNT, like the explosive.
Okay, I just did.
Well, you say salvage and TNT together. It doesn't sound very good.
Guys were running on empty, but that was pretty funny. So not TNT, like you'd find in a Bugs Bunny cartoon, but T&T International Salvage Company from Detroit. Okay, so they are here today. They arrived either late last night. They are working through the plan with the Coast Guard and BIDCO Marine Group. And we also have, I do not know the person's name, but we also have a naval architect that came up from Washington. All right, so where I can step in is I'm providing from the archives and our collections the plans of the Sullivans. And Stephen has worked with me on that. So that's one of these, I love this, it's one of those ways that an archive does help and tell the story. Right? Everyone says, oh, why do you have this dusty collection of things that never will be used? Well, there's the damage control book from 1951.
And now it's being used today to help us, with the Sullivans.
Yeah. If that wasn't cataloged, we would have no idea we would have even had it. And then the companies coming to us, I'd say, oh, sorry, we don't have anything. Right? So this is a way that the collections and archives does help.
So we do have a question. Any idea how much of the ship took on water inside?
I would certainly say 50%, right? Like,
I would say a little less, just because of the way she's listing and how the forward is up. You know what I mean? So probably closer to like 35, 40 maybe.
Yes. Okay, so if you know the architecture of the Sullivans, let's say from the officer's country forward, on all the platforms is probably dry. That means officer's country, that means the 5-inch handling room, that's the CPO, mess and berthing. Then that's getting into first division. If you go down below, the anchor windlass. And if you go up, now you're into the superstructure, the bridge. Those areas are, as last time we heard and last time we checked, are dry. And to me, one of the most important areas that is still dry, which is great, is the Sullivans Memorial Compartment. So all of those artifacts that I just put out for this year, the World War II flag that we won at auction, the 1950s Sullivan Shamrock flag that they flew during Korea, the pieces, we got pieces from the church that the boys attended. All of that is stable, above water, did not touch the water, and that's really important for us. But as you move aft, from officers' country. You have that engineering space, you have this ship's office, and then you're getting into, once you get into that forward fire room, that's when you start to see the problems. Yeah, probably as a whole, looking at the whole ship, it might be 35. Is that what you said? 35%, 40%?
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, I
just
would agree
because
with
of the
that.
way she's listing and the way that her forward is up.
Yeah, her forward's up, right. A lot of people have asked about the transom. We did look at the transom before we were told to get off of the ship. And again, we were ordered by the fire marshal to get off and haul butt as quickly as we could. We weren't able to secure some of the doors that we normally would. But we looked at the transom. It was, if you've watched that transom video on YouTube with Andrew, Skinny, and myself, she looks like that currently. The berthing in front of that is a little, but that's right at the stern. So
and
that's
we can tweet out that video after this, so you have quick access to it. Been trying to tweet out Sullivan's video every day.
Oh, I did good.
Just our past videos that kind of talk about the ship and different things. And Shane does an amazing job on our videos. I just want to read some comments here. Crazy Locha, hat and shirt ordered from the gift shop. Any other support links? Right now, that's really it. We do appreciate it. And we were just downstairs a few minutes ago, and boxes are flying out the door. So
yeah,
we can, the show of support is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And as of now, we are also beginning to put together a volunteer plan. We know there's hundreds of you that would like to come here and volunteer. Either with the cleanup when she gets right even keel, or for other things, collections, artifacts. There'll be plenty of opportunities, and we will have the united front across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube to then put out that call, collate all of that information, and then get people into the right spot of either your specialty or your interest or just a general thing. So.
All right, we're going to try to get through all these questions, guys, as much as we can. Do you want to start going through
we still want to go.
We're going to go through some of the bullet points of the updates that, so we can, have that for you guys.
Do you want to write?
So we do have a couple of priorities, if you will, and the top one that everybody's been talking about is safety. So we have BIDCO guys, Coast Guard out there. We have every group that Shane has just mentioned, and their safety is top priority above anything. After that becomes, the pollution control and the safety of the river. And it's not even that. The people that are in the water right now working are near these contaminants, and these are our top two priorities: is the safety of the people down there and making sure that we're not contaminating the river or the Erie or Lake Erie. And we have a fantastic team. We have a environmental company that's here. We have the Coast Guard who have been here around the clock. So those are the two things we're looking at. We want to make sure that we're doing the absolute right thing on every front, and which is why we have such a great team of people, not just internal, but the people that have come to the park to help out, and just making sure we make every single decision the way it needs to be made for the safety of the people and of the river. And
the stability of the ship, too. So that's, in addition, is that the third component: safety of the people, safety of the river, and safety of the ship. And those all have to meet together. We don't want a situation where a diver gets caught somewhere in a compartment, that they can't be retrieved. And so we have to make sure they're all working in conjunction and together.
And it's contained.
And of course, yeah, it's contained.
It's contained. So
if you've seen the photos, you'll see
there's the bumpers, and then there's the sponges as well.
Sponges,
that work to contain all of that, and oil floats on top of water, so it's very easy to control.
We also had access to a crane and a man basket. That was something new today, along with those people coming from Detroit and Washington. So that will allow us to extend out onto the ship, and people can then work in safety without even being on the ship. So that's something new that happened today. Certainly damage control, we're go along with what Steven said, that safety of the environment and of the people in it.
So Ed says something I just want to touch on real quick. He says, so things are still hopeful. And I think that's the only option for us, right? Is to come out on this victors, we fully expect to have everything. We can't tell the future, but I don't think we're even thinking that there's no hope or anything like that. So, you've heard it a million times from us over the past week or so that failure is not an option, right? So we're not even thinking along those terms.
Yeah, we are going to try and adopt "Don't give up the ship." The ship already has a motto, we stick together, which we are doing as well, but we might try to incorporate "Don't give up the ship." From all the hundreds of comments on YouTube, Twitter, things like that, Fletchers have been through much worse and have come out on top, and she's not going anywhere else. We have the stability that we've looked for. Work can now begin Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's just making sure they are pumping out evenly to decrease the amount of stress on the bulkheads and frames and bring her up slowly and gently and evenly. But that takes coordination, right? That means one pump has to be pumping out the same amount of water as another pump, 20 compartments away or whatever, So that coordination is going to take a little bit of time, but she's not going anywhere right now. And then assessing, then it'll be 2 parts after that. It'll be cleaning her and also then beginning the patching process that was begun last year.
And I think that as you see in the media and stuff, and us discussing it is, if we didn't have anybody helping us out or supporting us, it'd be a different story. We might not have the hope that we do, but with every resource that we have, and just you guys that are on our YouTube page and our social media and following us and whatnot, we have all this support and we have the resources, again, from all these companies and branches of the military and everybody that's helping us. So we don't really see, when we say failure is not an option, we're not just saying it. We have the utmost support from all different angles that it's hard pressed to see it not succeeding.
Yeah, there's always that initial, Stephen, there's always that initial, holy moly, what is going on? We all had it. That's over and done with. Now I look at the ship from my perspective, Stephen looks at it from his own perspective, but now once we get her right even keel, we can now tell the stories for the next 80 years. This will be a huge story that will be incorporated into her history, right? And I will be very proud to help craft that narrative. Having different displays on board, bringing the ship back to a more authentic nature. This is a real opportunity, but it requires, time.
Yeah, so you put it perfect. It's another story to tell in the historic nature of the Sullivans. One thing we do want to bring up is that we had mentioned on our Twitter this morning that the FAA has put basically a no-fly zone over the Naval Park area. That really strictly is for safety. I know some people were concerned why they would do that. With drones and stuff like that coming in, it can be a distraction. The ship is on its side, and everybody has to be alert at all times. You can see from the media and other areas along Canal Side that, there's clear view of the ships. So it's not that, you can't see it. It's just this is directly for the safety of the workers out there.
Yeah, there were some drones. Now, I think some of the news crews have gotten permission, some of the news, 2, 4, and 7 here in Buffalo, have gotten permission to use drones. But there's been a lot of unauthorized dronage use. And, they don't know where the divers are. They don't know where the staff and the crew are. And we just would, you get knocked in the noggin or something from a drone trying to get into the ship or, flying around. So that no-fly zone from 400 feet down to 0 now means we can enforce it. Drones can be above 400 feet, but once they get into that 400 to 0 foot above sea level, then I don't know. Yeah, but questions or anything else?
So if you guys have any questions, are there plans to dry docker? It's not really an option right now.
Right. But we do have the response, and this is just from the work that we started in February of last year. If you've watched that Bilge Snipe Part 1 video, we saw this happening in February of 2021. Again, COVID had a lot to do with it. We didn't have the staff here. Maintenance over one winter. And look what happens, right? We are keeping up on this stuff. So we noticed in February of 21, we raised the $1 million. We picked out a company. We picked out a plan. And this plan that was started last summer was to give her a 10 to 15 year life here, while we then began raising the money to then be able to dry dock her at the end of that 10 or 15 year period. So this was going to be the salve, right? That's a word, salve? To put something on. I don't want to say a Band-Aid, that's stupid. But, this is like a salve for the ship for the next 10 to 15 years. And then we are raising the endowment money, and then we would have the $5-6 million over the course of the 10 years to 15 years to then be able to dry dock her properly. So that was the original intent when we set this all up in March 1st of 2021, when we noticed that she had a problem. That was our plan. And as of right now, that's sticking to our plan. With having Senator Schumer here today, it's been really hopeful. He's been talking about wrestling up federal monies and things like that. So as Stephen was saying, we have a ton of support. It just is, everything's flooding in at once right now, and now we will need some of that period to be able to disseminate, and move and catalog all of that, everything that's coming in, whether it's. Yeah.
And I just wanted to touch up on something that we said before about how, if there is any way that you do want to help, of course, it's all appreciated. SaveTheSullivans.org. That's going to be your best place to go to find out any information. And I'm sure that we'll update it. And you have the gift shop, SaveTheSullivans.org, and we'll use that too also for any sort of, when we need your help to be down here, and people that want to donate their time. It's not necessarily all about money. We're going to need help from all fronts. Mm-hmm. So,
it's absolutely not about money. Again, if there's a lot of money coming in, we're not having a good handle on it. But when we have the volunteers, when we're ready for volunteers, we will begin parsing everybody out. As Stephen mentioned, the gift shop, the boxes down there, the going out to people are just astounding. We do have the $100 challenge coin as well with the Sullivans on it. So that was going to be our fundraiser for this year, getting that endowment started to dry docker. So that is a possibility. We'd also have the challenge coins from the Sullivans themselves, or just even any of the challenge coins. They're 15 or 20 bucks. Even if it has the croaker on it or the little rock on it, it still goes. It still comes to the Buffalo Naval Park.
So Rick just asked if the gift shop is open. As of right now, online only, but you can access any of our stuff from our online gift shop. And I'm not sure if Buffalo, if they're, I'm not sure.
Oh, I wish I knew that.
We're trying to figure, and we're figuring everything out kind of all at once here. So again, we're going to have these updates every day. Some days we won't have clear answers on certain things, and then the next day we'll have a clear answer on it. But we kind of wanted to set this up so that every day we can answer questions all at once. Not everybody's seeing every news broadcast. Not everybody's seeing everything that's being said. And this is a way for us to get all the information that people are curious about out at once.
Scrapping. What? I would love to say what I said to you a couple days ago. I'm not going to.
Yeah, there was a rumor about salvage companies scrapping, I mean, that's just a rumor. It's clear that none of that has ever come from any of us or the mayor's office or anybody like that. It's clear that we're doing everything we can to save her. So you're going to see a lot of this. It's just, you know, it's just the world we live in. Let's see.
Thank you, Rick.
Shane and Steven, you guys have a lot on your plates now. Make sure you can meter your efforts and do only what you can. This is a long process. Don't get overwhelmed. To think of it as a marathon, not a sprint.
Thank you, Hoist. You got it.
Yeah, and we are. You know,
we're trying our best.
We're trying our best, but this is a 24-hour operation right now, and
we are now out of surgery.
Yes.
And I'm just being analogous here. It doesn't even mean it's a good analogy, but you know, there's that immediate, you know, your grandparent gets rushed to the hospital for open heart surgery. The surgery is now done. We can take a little deep breath and now assess what we need to do moving forward step by step.
So David has a comment here, and I think maybe he might have misunderstood what you were saying about the dry docking in 10 to 15 years. So I'm just going to read it, and then you can answer accordingly. Fix the hull as soon as possible, not in 15 years. In 15 years, the Croaker and the other cruiser will need money and may have full breaches. Check the zinc anodes on them all, more frequent, and add more in more. I'm not sure what that last part meant, but
yeah, David. Okay, thank you. I'll just I will try to explain that in a more clear way. So we were having a two-part epoxy rubber membrane. Everyone throws that term out. I don't know if I like that term, but it was going to be a two-part epoxy paint, rubber, thicken, drying membrane that they were going to cover the hull of the Sullivans in. That was the work that began last year. I showed some of that. The first step was scraping off the zebra mussels. I showed that on Saturday's emergency update video, that they had scraped off about 150 feet. That two-part epoxy rubber membrane was slated, and still could, but was the life of that is about 10 to 15 years. So we said, once we get that hull covered, now in those 10 to now it protects the ship for 10 to 15 years. Then we can begin raising that $5-6 million, and then in 3033 or whatever, or no, this isn't Star Trek, 2033 or something, we would then be able to take her to dry dock and do what we really need to do. She was last in dry dock in 65. I mean, that's just
right. We're not waiting that time. This is just the process that it's taking. But things like that, David, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's part of the thing, is there might be not clear communication through all the different avenues you can get communication from. And these are the questions that we want to hear from you guys, because we want to be able to make sure that we're getting it across as best as we can. So if you have any questions like that, like David, we appreciate you bringing that up.
We are the source of your information. Right? We don't want Twitter to be, we don't want this salvage company satire site that put this thing out about scrapping her. We want you guys to trust in our information that we're getting you on a daily basis. And then therefore, then you can help us combat some of those rumors or that toxicity that might be on social media. But yeah, so thank you guys for being here. We've got a lot of viewers here, so this is good. Thank you. So I think that might be it for today, but we could ask.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today, guys. If like I said, we will be back tomorrow. We don't have an exact time, but we will post it on Twitter and on our community board here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And then, we can take a look at all these comments right now, and as they come in throughout the rest of the day, and maybe have some better answers for you. If you guys can think of anything in the next 24 hours before our next live update session, of course, bring it to us, and we will answer as best as we can.
Yeah, and let me make clear that there are a lot of funds coming in, but we are making sure that we have how much is coming in and where it's going to be dedicated to.
Correct.
I think I may have said something that like a little earlier.
Right.
I was like, we don't even know what's coming in. Well,
we understand how important transparency is. And that is on the forefront, and we've always been pretty transparent, and that's not going to change. So
Right. So
Yeah.
your dollars are being accounted for. It just is then getting it into the systems that need it. But yeah, it's all being worked out, and we're getting daily updates of everyone's of the donations coming in.
Real quick, Inspector 71 says any live video feed of the ship. That's something we're working on. The Wi-Fi on the ships and in that general area aren't the greatest. Now, like if it was just for your phone or something, it would work. But to get the streaming from the camera to the computer, it's just something we're trying to acknowledge, like we have acknowledged, and we're trying to make that happen. As a matter of fact, we attempted to do it from there just a little bit ago, but the signal from the video camera to the computer just wasn't strong enough. But that is something we're going to be working on, and we're hoping to maybe one day this week or next week being able to be outside and do a live video so you guys can see the Sullivans and the work that's being done on it.
And also, in addition to this, we have that other camera that I do most of the videos with. This is the nice camera that Stephen secured for us here at the Naval Park. But I also have that little Handycam handheld, which doesn't need Wi-Fi, and that would be a video then that I would upload. There are certain areas that I can't, no one's on ship, right? I can't get to the ship, the brows are removed, so I can't get there, but we could walk around the ship. I can kind of talk about some of the things that you're seeing and things like that, and that would be with the handheld, and then that would be an uploaded video, edited, all that stuff. So
okay. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.